pregnancy in the developed world is especially troubling to the country's black and Hispanic communities, where many argue that the family as a social structure is rapidly crumbling. Young women raise their babies alone, young men simply abandon them. There are endless programs to teach a teenager to be a good mother, but what about teaching a teenager to be a good father? What about bringing up daddy?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
January 27th, 1990. A big weekend for this father and son. On Saturday, Robert Hanna Jr. turned 1 year old. On Sunday, Robert Hanna Sr. turned 20.
Oh, look at that cake. 2 cakes. Awesome.
And how American can you get? Cheese doodles and Kool-Aid and doting relatives. And 2 unmarried, unemployed teenage parents. Children bearing children. Robert lives with his mother. Kathy lives at home with her mother and the baby. Neither has a father living at home. Not exactly the Bill Cosby show, but young Robert Hanna is trying. Unlike many young men who become fathers, he's decided to be a father to his son, urged on by a small program run by the Urban League in Boston, where boys are trained in the elusive art of fatherhood. Answer this one honestly. Huh? How do you guys and your friends really feel about getting a girl pregnant?
You don't want that, in your corner. Like if you get a one-night stand and then she ends up pregnant, and then 3-4 months down the line she's calling you talking about, well, remember that night back in August? And you're like, hey, and she's telling you she's pregnant, and then you have to think, well, what am I gonna do? Number one, first thing will come to a guy's mind is that she's trying to trap you.
It's like her and me, we both had a lot of things we want to do as we get older, when we get old. Having babies, to me, at this point, wasn't one of them. Or nowhere near the one of them. It was a good thing to have a kid, but to have one of your own wasn't definitely one on my list. I'm sorry.
Robert Hanna, Isaac Day, John Martinez, Hector Champagne, Marvette Neal, Rafael Martinez, and Kervin Richardson. Average age 19. Among them, they have 9 children. Average age 1 year. Only 2 of them are married.
Were you prepared to be fathers?
I didn't know nothing about it.
All of these young fathers have found help from Michael ONeal, a 30-year-old social worker who developed the Boston Young Fathers Program. In general, what's the attitude to becoming a father?
Scared. Very much there was fear. They were not prepared.
And his first instinct is what?
Denial. That baby's not mine, or how could that be? And then they come back to the reality that it is theirs.
Boston has one of the highest teenage pregnancy rates in the nation. This year, between 1,000 and 1,200 high school girls will become mothers. Almost 90% of them will remain unmarried. Yet of the 100-odd programs that try to deal with the problem, ONeal's is the only one that concentrates solely on fathers. Did most of you have fathers at home that could be considered role models?
No.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Back then?
No.
But did you have any idea of what a father does?
Not really. Not really. It was just my mother, and to see how hard it was for her to take care of me, my sister, my brother. And when I found out that my girl was pregnant, I didn't really want to tell her because I was like, oh boy, she worries so much about me now, she probably ready to kill me. And I didn't tell her she didn't find out until the day the baby was born.
Dr. Alvin Poussant, a Harvard psychiatrist, is all too familiar with a fatherless black family.
How does a young man get the image of what a father does if he has no father? It's hard for him to know what his role is. That may be also true of the teenage mother. If she had no father in the household, she may not really know what the role of a father is, and may actually see child rearing almost strictly in terms of the mother.
Dr. Poussant is also an advisor to The Cosby Show, which he feels carries an important symbolic message about fatherhood. All you guys watch The Cosby Show?
Yes.
What do you think of that show?
I do believe that it's quite true that some people do live that type of life, but not me or anyone I know. I mean, I would love to live that type of life. You know, be like Bill Cosby, and you can always joke around with your kids and have fun and dance around the house with your wife. You know, but right now, to me, that's just a fantasy.
Michael O'Neal's program deals with the hard realities from diapers to feeding to first aid.
Okay, guys, this afternoon we have Priscilla Grenache from the American Red Cross.
First thing you want to do when you see an infant in distress, looks like they can't breathe, okay? Right away, you want to pick them up and you want to yell, help.
Help. Kevin, call 911. Baby choking.
Good.
2, 3.
Try to make sure you're getting it like just between the shoulder blades and not too far down.
I say, you know, when you're a young man, a real man takes care of his babies. Okay, any man can make a baby, but a real one takes care of it. And then you start to get this feedback of what's a real man. I said, no, you tell me.
It's kind of a macho thing when you're with your friends. You say, well, hey, my girl's pregnant, I'm going to have a boy.
Sometimes having a child may make them feel important and that they count and there's something that I produced, that I created. There are another group that feel it's macho to father baby and think of obtaining manhood in that way without consideration for raising the child. It's kind of making the baby that may satisfy their sense of virility.
But when you're out there, you know, on the street, and, you know, you really can't find anything that you feel would, you know, fulfill you, you go out and have a child, and then when you find out that the child is going to add more problems to the problems that you already have, then you give up on the child.
Did you guys had all the sex education that's available there? I mean, it wasn't a surprise that was it? That she got pregnant.
Like sex education teaches you about venereal transmitted diseases. Okay, it tells you the symptoms and how you can, you know, deal with it.
It tells you about contraceptives.
True, but the biggest thing that they really don't talk to, you know, the students about is your morals. So then we have to get into that predicament, you know, and that could really prevent a lot of things, you know. But you know, like us, instead of them telling us that, you know, we went and learned from experience, and now we have children.
O'Neal's program is 2 years old. So far, about 60 young men have gone through it. O'Neal is the first to admit that getting them to step up and be fathers is not easy. He has contacts at Boston's big high schools, Boston High and Madison Park High, and he goes out into the community propagandizing the program. At a meeting at the Crittenden Hastings Maternity Home, he heard the other side of the story. He heard that many mothers don't want a man around the house.
He'd call you up on the phone. Oh, baby, how you doing today? What you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm giving Nigel a bath and I'm going to sleep so I can get up in the morning and go to work. Work? Job? I'll be over tonight. Okay, I mean, they, you know, they want, some men wants to live off you, and that's not fair. I mean, I'm not going to have no man lay up and eat Captain Crunch and lay up in the bed and watch stories and cartoons while I'm out there working, because there are some men like that.
Yeah, well, your kids are lovely now, and they're cute and everything else, and you're showing us all this great responsibility. You guys going to be there 5 years from now?
Yes. It's not like a cold. You don't catch it and then get rid of it.
Right now, there's too many minorities who are fatherless, you know, and like I don't want to be my son to be a statistic, a number.
Could you tell him that?
Against the overwhelming numbers, Michael O'Neal's program seems absurdly small. He is the entire staff. The budget is pitiful. He can only deal with 30 fathers at a time. Even so, for some of them, he makes a world of difference.
I had some conversations with Karen about trying to get some employment for some of my young men.
Everyone agrees that the most vital factor in promoting stability is a job. But the very system that was designed to help mothers and their babies often keeps fathers from accepting responsibility. A fatherless household receives significantly more in welfare benefits than one with both parents living together. With all of the emotional and financial strains, there are some success stories. Abel Kano was the first young father to join Michael's program 2 years ago. He finished high school and is now in college studying electrical engineering. When he's not doing that, he's working part-time as a clerk typist. When he's not doing that, he's babysitting. It leaves him no time for anything else. He relies on Michael ONeal to keep going.
Michael was more or less being there trying to counsel me and help me to not give up, because sometimes with so many things going on, you get so frustrated sometimes that you just want to give up.
There's times where you just come home and your wife says, the baby has no milk, no pampers, there's no food in the house, and some bills have to be paid. So what are you going to do about it? Or what are we going to do about it? And it's like Monday, and you don't get paid until Friday.
ONeal wages a constant battle against that sense of hopelessness many young men feel.
I consider Mike my second father, my brother, my friend. He's always there for us, you know? And any problems we have, we can always confide in him.
I had two very beautiful and strong parents. Had a very strong father figure and a very strong mother figure. And because of that, that's why I do what I do. Okay, I enjoy what I do because I think I should pass some of that along.
But you feel that that very quality you speak of is something that's missing in black and white society, with people not looking back.
I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that our youth across the board need all of us.
You're giving all this fatherly advice without the benefit of being a father.
I think I have the best teachers. Okay, when it comes to when Michael ONeal has a child, I'll probably be the best father in the world, even better than Bill Cosby.
After we completed taping this story, in fact, just last Wednesday, Michael ONeal was asked by the Urban League in Boston to resign or be fired. The league told him he did not fit in and accused him of speaking out on the subject of young fathers rather than letting the league speak for the program. Michael says, so be it. He'll continue the program without the help of the Urban League. He hopes to turn it into a national effort for young fathers everywhere.